Oh, Liam, still grinding away at that little startup. Madison smirked, her voice dripping with condescension as she raised a champagne glass to her glossy lips. I stood alone near the edge of the marble-tiled terrace, watching her laugh like she hadn't once sobbed on the bathroom floor when her modeling gigs dried up. The string quartet played something forgettable in the background, but the music did little to drown out her venom. Her new husband, a finance bro named Tyler with the personality of unseasoned tofu, stood by her side, beaming like he just married the second coming of Marilyn Monroe. His jaw clenched for a moment when she said my name. Maybe he knew, or maybe he was just stupid enough to think he won. Then it happened. A man in a navy blue suit, clearly out of place among the perfectly tailored Armani clones, walked over. He paused mid-step when he saw me. "Mr. Carter," he stammered, his face draining of color like a guilty priest caught in a strip club. Madison turned, confused. "Who?" I didn't smile. I just locked eyes with the man and said, "Why not?" He gulped. "I didn't expect to see you here." I stepped forward, leaned in just enough for him to hear, and let it drop. "I bought the entire corporation last month." The silence hit like a piano drop. The man's mouth opened, then closed like a fish out of water. Madison's smirk vanished. Tyler looked like someone just pissed in his champagne. That was the moment I realized something. I had stopped hurting. You see, this wasn't just any wedding. It was her wedding. My ex-wife, Madison Carter. The woman I gave 9 years of my life to, who used to leave lipstick notes on my mirror, who once said, "Liam, if I ever cheat on you, hit me with a car." Guess what, Mads? I bought the car. But I wasn't always this composed. A year ago, I was a wreck. A walking ghost, trying to make sense of how my world turned inside out. Let me rewind. It started with the perfume. She always wore the same scent, vanilla musk, subtle and soft, like a whisper. Then one day, she came home smelling like citrus and cologne. Said it was a new sample she got from a friend at a shoot. I nodded, pretended to buy it. I wish I had stopped pretending right there. Then came the late campaign meetings. At first, I believed her. I even packed her dinner once and brought it to her studio downtown. She wasn't there. The assistant said Madison hadn't booked a room that night. Said she was out of town. She came home 2 hours later. I didn't ask where she was. I just stood there, holding the uneaten pasta like a fool. Madison always had a way of flipping things. "Liam, I'm trying to chase opportunities. Why don't you ever trust me?" I was too stunned to respond. That was her magic trick. Lie, twist, flip, then cry if needed. She was a walking soap opera. Then I found it. A message on her tablet, one she'd forgotten to log out of before leaving for her wellness retreat. It was from a guy named Tyler. The same Tyler who now stood on this terrace, officially her second husband. "Tyler, I missed last night. You taste like trouble. Madison, better than Liam's guilt sandwiches. He made me dinner again." Ugh, I didn't breathe. I didn't blink. I sat on the kitchen floor and read the whole thing. Weeks of messages, hotel reservations, plans for accidentally breaking the news. I wasn't even supposed to be part of the equation anymore. That was when something in me snapped. I didn't cry. I didn't throw the tablet. I didn't call her screaming like some jealous kid. I got quiet. And when I get quiet, I plan. I hired an investigator. Not for proof. I had enough of that. No, I wanted every detail. Every location. Every lie. Every time she said she was with her mom, or yoga, or deep in creative flow. I wanted to own the truth. By the time she served me divorce papers, I'd already started negotiating for the company that backed Tyler's entire career. A struggling digital investment firm that my startup had been studying for months. They needed a bailout. I gave them one, with my name on the dotted line and full acquisition rights. Now here I am, at their reception, at their start, at my closure. Madison is still staring at me. The same eyes that used to beg me to stay during fights are now twitching with confusion. She knows me well enough to be afraid, but not well enough to predict what's coming next. I sip my drink and turn away before she can speak. "You wanted Tyler? You got him. You wanted me gone? Too bad. Because I'm just getting started. I didn't start digging because I thought she was cheating. I started because she was acting like someone I didn't recognize anymore. Madison was always a bit high-strung. She liked attention. She needed praise. But she used to care. She used to ask about my day, laugh at my dumb jokes, kiss me on the back of the neck when I worked late. That version of her died slowly. At first, I thought it was stress. Then I thought maybe she was just drifting. Relationships go through phases, right? But then came the distance. Literal and emotional. She stopped texting me during the day. She always had her phone face down. She kept her ringer off, even at night. There were random showers after coming home. Late meetings. New lingerie just for herself. But the moment I knew something was wrong, she stopped fighting with me. That may sound like a good thing, but it wasn't. Madison loved to argue. If she was mad, you knew. She'd throw words like knives and expect you to dodge them like Neo in the Matrix. But suddenly, she was silent. No fights. No tension. Nothing. Like I didn't exist. So I started watching. Not in a creepy way, just aware. I noticed the receipts in her purse weren't matching her stories. She said she had lunch with an old friend at Olive Garden. The receipt said Nobu. She told me she was out late working on a fitness campaign for a yoga brand. That night I drove by her studio. The place was pitch black. I didn't sleep. Not that night. Not the next few either. The worst moment was the night I saw them. I wasn't following her. I swear I wasn't. I was grabbing late-night coffee because I couldn't shut my brain off. I turned onto Wilshire and saw her. Madison, standing in front of a luxury hotel in heels too high for work and laughing with some tall guy in a navy blue suit. She touched his chest. He touched her lower back. They kissed. That kiss broke something inside me. It wasn't just the cheating. It was how familiar she looked doing it. Like she'd done it before. Like she was good at it. I didn't confront her right away. I watched them go inside. I sat in my car. I stared at the hotel sign glowing against the night sky and wondered how I got here. That night, I couldn't go home. I crashed at my friend Josh's place. Told him a little. Left most of it unsaid. The next morning, I went home before she got back. Her duffel bag was on the floor. She came in around 7 a.m., humming. Said her shoot ran late. I didn't respond. That's when she got annoyed. What? You're mad because I didn't call. I told you it would be a long night. Don't be such a child, Liam. She kissed my cheek and went to shower. I sat on the edge of our bed, her lies still fresh on my skin. That's when I opened her tablet. She rarely used it. Probably forgot it even existed. I only remembered because I'd once used it for a pitch deck. I wasn't expecting to find anything, but it was logged into her iCloud. Photos, messages, notes, dozens of texts, a video. Her, sitting on a hotel bed in lingerie, blowing a kiss to the camera. Can't wait for tonight, babe. Liam's so clueless. I closed it, took a breath, reopened it. I watched it again. Clueless, huh? Okay, let's see how clueless I stay. 2 nights later, I confronted her. Not in a shouting match. Not in a fit of rage. I planned it like a business meeting. She came home from Pilates. Hair freshly curled. Lips too red for sweating through core workouts. I sat at the kitchen table, sipping whiskey, the tablet open in front of me. Hey babe, she said, casually setting down her keys. You wouldn't believe how much my core hurts right now. I didn't speak. Just turned the screen toward her. Her face froze. It was the video. The same one she sent to Tyler. Her on a hotel bed, calling me clueless. For a moment, we both just stared at each other. Time slowed. Then she blinked. Smiled. Actually smiled. Oh my God, Liam. Why are you going through my things? I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because the audacity was absurd. Seriously? I asked. That's your move right now? She rolled her eyes. You violated my privacy. No, I said, standing slowly. You violated this marriage. Her tone changed like a snap of fingers. Okay, so what? You saw a video. It's not what you think. Really? I stepped closer. Because I think it's you screwing Tyler in a suite while I'm home making dinner for a woman who mocks me behind my back. Her jaw clenched. Oh please, Liam. Spare me the soap opera. We've been broken for months. Funny, I didn't get that memo, I said, gripping the edge of the table. You still wore the ring. Still kissed me goodnight. Still acted like we had a shot. She crossed her arms. Maybe I didn't want to hurt your feelings. Yeah, I said, voice rising. Lying for months, faking love, sneaking around hotels, very considerate. Then she dropped the line I'll never forget. Well, maybe if you weren't so boring, I wouldn't have needed someone else. Silence. Just that. No rage, no plate smashing, no screaming. Just silence. I felt like someone had reached inside me and twisted everything that kept me standing. You're disgusting, I said, and it was the calmest I'd been all evening. She smiled again, cruel now. No, Liam. I'm honest. You just hate that I stopped pretending you were enough. That was it. I picked up my keys. Walked out. drove nowhere for an hour. Just kept turning left. I didn't cry. Not that night. That came later. In a motel room off Sunset Boulevard, when I realized our whole marriage had been rotting from the inside, and I never saw it. But in that moment, in the car, I made a decision. This wasn't going to destroy me. She wanted me broken, small, humiliated. She wanted Tyler to win. Nah. If she wanted a villain, I'd give her one. I went home the next morning. She was gone, probably with him. I boxed up everything she ever gave me. Every fake note. Every framed photo. The sweater I used to wear when we'd watch bad movies and pretend life was simple. Then I called my lawyer. Then I called my team. I wasn't going to just survive this. I was going to bury her world. Revenge wasn't the goal. Not at first. At the beginning, I just wanted to survive. Breathe again without choking on bitterness. But the more I uncovered, the harder it became to just walk away. Madison didn't just cheat. She made a mockery of me. With Tyler, with her friends, maybe even with her damn yoga instructor. Every time I replayed her words, maybe if you weren't so boring, something in me shifted. I stopped grieving. I started plotting. Tyler worked for a firm called Valker. It wasn't massive, but it had decent visibility in the finance world. Their crypto division was bleeding money. I knew this because my startup, Haven Core, had quietly been analyzing their portfolio for weeks before I even knew he existed. Funny how things line up. I called a private lunch meeting with my board the next day, outlined a buyout plan that included Valker's core assets, told them the real reason in private. This isn't just business, I said. It's personal. No one objected. They knew the kind of fire that came from betrayal. Weeks passed like hours. My days blurred into numbers, contracts, closed-door meetings. I lived in silence, in strategy, in structure. Madison would text once in a while, usually short, sharp messages. You moved my stuff without telling me. I'll send someone for the dog. You're being dramatic. This doesn't have to be war. War? She didn't even understand what that word meant yet. She wanted to divide the assets quietly. I agreed. I gave her the beach condo. Even left the car. It wasn't about money. It was about legacy. While she played house with her new boy toy, I was rebuilding the ground under her feet. Then, one morning, my lawyer handed me a file. Thought you'd want to see this, he said. Inside were photos. Her and Tyler, kissing at a private dinner on a rooftop. Her leaning into him, hands on his knee. And then, shocker, Tyler with another woman. Same rooftop. Different night. Same behavior. I laughed. Out loud. Of course. The guy she left me for was cheating on her. Maybe karma worked fast these days. I didn't tell her. Not yet. Let her have her fake fairy tale a little longer. We finalized the buyout deal 3 weeks later. Valker's board had no clue who I was. To them, I was just a new CEO with funding, swooping in to rescue their sinking ship. When the papers were signed, I walked through their downtown office in silence. A few people recognized me from Forbes features. Tyler didn't. He was too busy sipping overpriced coffee and flirting with his assistant. He was in for a fun surprise. But not yet. Not until the wedding. Yes, the wedding. Madison and Tyler were planning a grand reception at some estate in Malibu. I got the invite out of courtesy, or spite, maybe. I RSVP'd yes. And that's where I planned my final move. Because what's the point of revenge if they don't know you won? I didn't wear a tux. I wore power, custom black-on-black suit, matte watch, and a calm smile that screamed I had nothing to prove. The reception was at a rented estate with a driveway longer than most marriages. Crystal chandeliers, live jazz, champagne towers. It was a circus, really. They wanted a royal event. I came to remind them who built the kingdom. The first person to notice me was a caterer. He blinked twice, then whispered something to a security guy who nodded like he recognized the name, but couldn't place the face. Madison, on the other hand, she noticed instantly. She was standing near the floral arch, laughing too loud at some story Tyler was botching. She looked different, plumper lips, higher cheeks, smaller waist. All artificial, of course. Even her smile had been rehearsed. And then she saw me. It was like watching someone trip in slow motion. Her body froze mid-laugh, head tilted slightly, as if questioning her own eyesight. I just lifted my glass slightly, like I was toasting her poor life decisions. She whispered something to Tyler. He turned around and grinned, clueless. Raised his glass. I smiled back. Friendly. Controlled. And absolutely electric inside. That's when Mr. Johnson showed up, the CEO I replaced at Valker. He was older, Sharp suit, stiff posture. He wasn't here for the couple. He was here out of obligation, clearly. Then he saw me. His face went pale like milk meeting vodka. "Mr. Carter," he muttered. "I didn't expect to see you here." Madison glanced between us, confused. "Wait, why would you know Liam?" I didn't even look at her. My eyes stayed locked on Johnson. I leaned in and said real low, "I bought the entire corporation last month." Silence. Madison blinked like the sun just exploded. Tyler froze, still holding his glass midair. And then, I watched it happen. Her face cracked. She realized. She understood. I wasn't there as her past. I was there as her future's landlord. She stammered something about coincidence. I didn't listen. I walked toward the bar and ordered a single malt. Neat. My phone buzzed. It was a message from my lawyer. Media leak confirmed. Valkyr ownership transfer hits headlines tonight. Should be fun. Oh, it would be. See, I didn't just buy Valkyr. I gutted it. Quietly replaced Tyler's entire division. Froze his bonuses. Disbanded his pet project. Restructured the board to report directly to me. On Monday, he'd walk in and learn his keycard didn't work. But I wasn't done. I took a slow walk around the venue, nodding at strangers, watching Madison try to keep her face together. She whispered frantically to Tyler, who shrugged, confused. She tried to smile at me. I looked right through her. Revenge isn't loud. It's not fire or fists. It's silence in a room full of witnesses. It's being the ghost in someone's happy ending and reminding them the past has claws. As I left the estate, I heard her call after me. "Liam, wait." I turned slightly, raised an eyebrow. "Did you really do this just because I cheated?" I gave her the softest smile I could muster. "No, Madison. I did this because you made the mistake of thinking I'd always stay small." Then I got in my car and drove off, faster than I ever ran from her lies. Monday came like thunder. Tyler showed up to Valkyr HQ at 8:12 a.m. sharp, still riding high from the wedding hangover, still thinking the world bent for him. He tapped his keycard against the reader. Red light. Beep. No entry. He tried again. Same result. Then again, this time harder, as if effort might make the building forget who owned it. Security approached him, polite but firm. "Sir, your access has been revoked. You'll need to step aside." "I work here," he snapped. "Not anymore," I said, stepping out from behind the glass door. "Good morning, Mr. Golding." He turned to face me. No more grin. Just disbelief dripping from his face like rain off a broken umbrella. "You can't be serious." "I'm always serious," I replied. "You're not fired, by the way. We're reassigning you. Something better suited to your talents." I handed him a sealed folder. Inside, a demotion letter and a reassignment to a client strategy desk in a secondary office 2 states away. No team, no title, just a cubicle and a landline. He flipped through the papers, his voice breaking. "This is a joke. You're doing this because of her." "Oh no," I said, leaning in. "I'm doing this because of you. Because you thought cheating with a married woman came without consequences." I turned my back on him. Let that be the last thing he saw. My back as I walked toward the elevator, the one he used to ride like a king. Later that afternoon, I received a text from Madison. "Madison, you're really going to ruin his life?" "Mine too." "For what?" "Ego." I stared at the message for a long time. No, not ego. It was clarity. It was closure. But she wouldn't understand. Narcissists never do. They break things, then cry when the pieces cut their own hands. The next week, news broke that Tyler had been transitioned. A few business sites tried to spin it as strategy. Most didn't care. To the outside world, it was just a ripple in the financial ocean. But to Madison, it was war. She called me. First time in months. I let it ring 5 times before answering. "What?" I said. "You're enjoying this," she snapped. "No," I said coldly. "I'm finishing it." She went quiet for a second. "You loved me once." "I did," I admitted. "And you spit on it." "You're not the same, Liam," she muttered. "No," I agreed. I grew teeth. Click. End of call. Later that evening, Josh, my best friend, the one who let me crash on his couch when I couldn't go home, came over with 2 beers and a smirk. "You see her Instagram story?" he asked. "No." "What?" She posted a picture of Tyler asleep on the couch with a wine bottle next to him. Caption said, "Regret looks different on everyone." I smiled. Not because I wanted her to suffer, but because she finally saw the view from the other side. That week, I slept better than I had in months. No racing thoughts. No images of hotel rooms or lies on loop. Just silence. Peace. Funny how peace feels like power when you've been powerless too long. Something strange happened after that week. I expected closure to feel like a slam of the gavel, a final scene where I walk away in slow motion while the past burns behind me. But real life doesn't work like that. There was no grand score playing in the background, just the stillness, and me adjusting. I'd spent so much energy planning moves like a chess game that I forgot how to just be. How to wake up without thinking about who was betraying me, who was lying, who was winning. And one morning, I did. I woke up. No nightmares. No bitterness. Just sunlight bleeding through the curtains and the sound of my dog snoring on the floor. Madison was still trying to call. I let every call go to voicemail. She didn't know how to operate outside of chaos. When the drama ended, she panicked. I listened to one of her messages once, just out of curiosity. Liam, we need to talk. I didn't think you'd go this far. You didn't just hurt him. You hurt me. Was that your goal? To make me feel worthless. I almost laughed. She'd built an entire personality out of burning bridges and then acting shocked when the fire got hot. But I was done playing with matches. Instead, I focused on myself. On Haven Core. We were expanding now, ironically stronger than ever. Investors were circling, and my team was tighter than a vault. For the first time in years, I walked into work with purpose that wasn't driven by pain. Josh noticed the change. You're not angry anymore, he said one night over tacos and beer. I'm not numb either, I replied. I'm just free. He raised an eyebrow. So what's next? Another relationship? Or are you going to swear off women like a monk? I shrugged. I'm not swearing off anyone. But I'm also not going to love someone who sees me as a stepping stone again. He nodded. Fair. I didn't date. Not right away. I focused on rebuilding everything Madison had tried to tear down. Not just my reputation, not just my business, but me. The version of Liam that laughed more, trusted more, walked into a room, and didn't second-guess his worth. Madison, on the other hand, began to unravel publicly. A few months after the wedding, her marriage with Tyler collapsed. Apparently, she found texts from another woman on his phone. Same story, different cast. She tried to get ahead of it, post some empowered breakup captions, but people were starting to see through the act. I got a message from her sister one evening. She's falling apart. I'm not asking for pity. I just thought you should know. She's not okay. I didn't respond. Not because I didn't care, but because I'd already tried being her lifeline once. She cut the rope herself. Still, part of me felt something that surprised me. Pity. Not love. Not longing. Just that heavy, dull ache you feel when you watch someone drown in a pool they filled themselves. That night, I sat on my balcony, watching the skyline, sipping scotch. My dog curled next to me, snoring again. Same position. Same rhythm. Peace isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the absence of the need to prove anything. And I realized something. Revenge may have started the fire, but peace is what kept me warm. Time didn't heal everything, but it gave clarity. A year passed since that night at the reception. I didn't think about her every day anymore. The memories came and went like weather, some stormy, some soft, but none of them owned me. I'd taken back every part of myself she tried to corrode with her lies, her fake smiles, her gaslighting. Madison never truly apologized. I wasn't waiting for one. Some people aren't capable of real remorse. They just regret losing control. One afternoon, I was walking through a downtown plaza when I spotted her. Alone, sitting on a bench outside a cafe. No makeup, no camera-ready outfit. Just a hoodie and jeans, hair in a loose bun. She looked older. Not physically, but spiritually. Like life had finally caught up with the mask she used to wear so proudly. She didn't see me. I thought about walking over, saying something, anything, but I didn't. Because there was nothing left to say. I had closure. And it didn't come from revenge, or her tears, or Tyler's downfall. It came from me. From rebuilding myself. Not as the man she tore down, but as the man I should have been long before she ever stepped into my life. If I could go back, I wouldn't erase her. I wouldn't even undo the betrayal. Because in that fire, I learned who I really was. What I could survive. What I would never tolerate again. I learned to listen better, to gut instincts, to patterns, to silences louder than words. I learned that someone who truly loves you doesn't demand you prove your worth every day. They see your value when you're at your worst, not just when you're on a pedestal. I learned that silence can be a sword sharper than shouting, and that walking away, calmly, without looking back, is the most powerful move a man can make. I shared my story with a few people, quietly, not as gossip, but as warning. Betrayal isn't just physical, it's emotional erosion, a slow poisoning, and you either catch it early, or it eats you alive. So here's what I'd tell anyone reading this. Anyone who's been in love with someone who used their heart like a tool. 1. Watch patterns, not apologies. Words are cheap. Consistency is truth. 2. If you feel like you're begging for love, you're already starving. Real love doesn't make you compete for it. 3. Never let betrayal define you. Let it refine you. The Liam I am now wouldn't let a Madison into his world. He'd see the red flags the first time she made a passive-aggressive joke and called it just being honest. He'd trust himself, his gut, his worth. That night, I got home, opened a bottle of wine, and wrote in the same journal I started when everything fell apart. I wrote this. She wanted to be a trophy, but trophies belong to winners. And I stopped competing for people who think love is a game. Then I closed the journal, set it down, and finally, felt like I was done. Not with her. With that chapter. A better one was already being written. And this time, I was the only author.